All right, today we're going to dive into a DIY repair that's, well, it's not just another temporary patch. We're talking about a permanent, pro level fix that you can actually do yourself. Let's get right into it.
Okay, let me ask you a question. Picture this. It's the middle of the night, the house is dead silent. What is the one sound that can instantly fill you with just absolute dread?
Yep, you know it. That relentless, maddening drip, drip, drip of a leaky pipe. It's the universal signal that something is very wrong, and it almost always means a messy, expensive headache is coming your way.
So, what's the first thing most of us do when we hear that? Well, that brings us right to our first big point, the fundamental problem with almost all the common ways we try to patch pipes. Come on, you know the drill. We all do it. You run to the garage or the toolbox and you grab one of the usual suspects, right? A roll of duct tape, maybe a metal clamp, or that weird epoxy putty you have to knead together. And in that moment of panic, they seem like a great idea. But here's the thing, the hard truth. All of those fixes, they're just bandages. They're covering the problem from the outside, sure, but they don't solve the actual weakness in the pipe. They're basically a ticking time bomb, just waiting to fail again. And that is what makes this next idea so incredible. The source material for this explainer calls it a secret way to seal any leak. And get this, the secret isn't some fancy product you have to buy. It's something you probably have lying around right now. All right, so let's pull back the curtain. What is this amazing secret solution they're talking about? The whole idea is just brilliantly simple. What if the best material to fix a plastic pipe is another piece of that exact same plastic? Just one you rescued from your scrap pile. Now, I know what you're thinking. That sounds a little too easy, right? A little too good to be true, but it's actually grounded in some seriously cool science. So let's break down the science of fusion. Okay, so the magic word here is fusion sealing. And listen, this isn't about slapping some glue on top of the pipe. No way. We're talking about melting, literally melting, both the scrap piece and the pipe's surface just enough so their molecules can actually mix and mingle together. When they cool, boom, they're one single solid piece again. And look, the difference here is it's night and day. A patch just sits on the surface, and it's always going to be a weak point. But fusion bonds the actual molecules. It's not a temporary fix, it's a permanent repair. The pipe literally becomes one solid piece again. You know, the best way to picture this is to stop thinking bandage and start thinking welding. That's really what it is. It's like welding, but for plastics. You're not covering a hole, you are reforging the material itself. Okay, so you're probably wondering, how do I actually do this? Well, let's get into the method. You'll be surprised how straightforward it really is when you break it down into a few steps. So the whole thing really boils down to 4 simple steps. First up, prepare. You've got to clean the area really, really well and find a scrap of the same kind of plastic. That part is key. Second, heat. You're going to carefully heat up both the pipe and your little scrap piece. A heat gun is your best friend here. Third, apply. While they're both soft and kind of melty, you press that scrap piece firmly right over the leaky area. And finally, step 4, fuse. Now you just hold it there. That's it. As it cools, those plastics are bonding together on a molecular level. They are literally becoming one. So when you step back and look at this, it's more than just a nifty repair trick, isn't it? This is a whole new way of looking at fixing things. It's basically repair, reinvented. So why is this such a total game changer? Well, let's count the ways. For one, it's sustainable. You're using waste material. It's permanent, creating a bond that is just as strong, if not stronger, than the original pipe. It's incredibly cost-effective. I mean, you're not buying any new parts. And maybe the best part, it's empowering. This isn't just a hack. It's a real professional skill that you can master yourself. I think the most important thing to get here is this. With fusion sealing, you're not just patching the leak. You are literally reforming the pipe. You're taking part in its creation and making it whole again. And that kind of leaves us with one last big question, doesn't it? This technique is about fixing pipes, sure, but it points to something much bigger. What if the most brilliant, simple, and powerful solutions aren't sitting on a store shelf, but are just hidden in plain sight, maybe right there in our own scrap piles?